Move this so you can see me.
Yeah, let me move this out of the way so you can see me. Ah, Louie.
I moved to Southern California where there's only 3 fat people. They have us working an 8-hour shifts, so it's good.
Ah, Louie. Yeah, you can tell fat jokes if you are fat.
Yes.
But if you're not especially fat, I mean, if you're mildly overweight and you get up on stage and you try to tell fat jokes,
right?
It just it doesn't work. It leaves people confused.
Does your weight start with the number 1? Then you're not fat.
You know what would be hilarious though, is if you went
like
the other
4
direction.
feet
If you were like, if you weighed like 90 or 85 pounds and you're up there telling fat jokes, that might actually work.
Right.
Well, you'd have to have a lot of confidence.
Yes, exactly. You're just like, man, I'm so fat.
Yeah.
Been trying to exercise, take off some of these extra pounds.
I did a thing that I've never done before. When I got up, they introduced me and I jumped up and I said, "Keep it going for your headliner." I said the headliner's name and they were cheering. And I said, "And your feature act." And I give the feature's name and they started cheering. And they had a guest set that night too. And then the name of the guest set guy, and they started cheering. And I said, "And your MC," and I said the guy's name again, and they kept cheering. And I said, "And your feature act," and I said it again. And the guest set, and I went through, and then I did it again. I repeated it like 3 times, and then they stopped clapping. And then I waited for a couple of seconds, and I said, "And one more time for your MC," and I said his name again. And I've never done that before, but it kind of worked. You know, it was like because it was so dumb.
Right.
Have you guys ever? Well, I don't know. There's a David Cross. He was a bit that he did where he would start singing just nonsense Italian. Have y'all heard that?
I haven't heard that bit.
He would get to the end of it. He'd sing a whole and he would stop and then put a mic into somebody's face. He'd never be quiet, and he would just keep going again. And he would do it like 3 times, and at the end, he would like yell at somebody.
Yeah,
like, "You idiot!"
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
My buddy Hank McGill used to have a bit that always cracked me up. Where he would get up on stage and people say, and he was really weird and off the wall anyway, and his whole act was just a bunch of random things. And at one point he would go, "So people ask me, Hank, is it dangerous up there on stage?" And I got to say, "Oh, you bet it is. That's why I wear my cup." And that would usually get a laugh. And after the laugh died down, he would take the microphone and hit himself in the crotch with it, and it would make a wooden pluck. He really was wearing a cup, so he would hit the cup with the microphone, and that would get another huge laugh. And then he would hand the microphone to a lady in the front row and stand with his hands on his hips. Go ahead, it's your turn. And he would just wait until she, verified that he was in fact wearing a cup.
And then when she finally did it, explosive laughter.
Yes,
because of the awkward tension.
Yes,
Awesome.
and then he would say, "Thank you," because I'm not wearing a cup. So that's what it is. That's what it is when you have a certain level of confidence on stage. Right, Brian?
Yes.
I
can't wait.
confidence.
I can't wait for you guys to see Brian's background tonight. It's going to be...
What's season 3?
Yeah, it's going to be something.
It's the season 3.
Comics everywhere, coming out of quarantine, so catch the vibe and dig the scene. Take a seat, gonna grab a snack, gonna kill the room, gonna talk some smack. Cutting it down like a lumberjack, come and take a ride in my Cadillac. Kicking it live on the radio, everybody got a right to know. This ain't my first rodeo.
This ain't our first rodeo.
Are you ready for the show?
You are so ready. You know what? I want to take Brian out of the stream so we can bring him and his background on after a proper introduction.
All right.
Can you do that?
There you go.
Are you ready for the show?
Yeah. This is an important enough event. I don't want it to just be ordinary. What's up, Monty?
Hey, welcome to Gary and Ann.
Yeah, they were in Minneapolis last night. There's the Keelers. Hey, Ann. They said they were going to shout out. You can count on the people in Minneapolis. When they say they're going to shout out, they shout out.
Are you ready for the best?
Are you ready for the best? Hey, welcome to SCQS. I'm John. That's Juwan
I was
DeVivo.
trying to sneak a taco.
What are you eating? A
That's
taco?
why it was so quiet. Mind if I finish?
So he muted.
It was like you took.
No, you.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but there's just a weird delay, like usual. So
Oh, good, awesome. Sorry.
the last
it was just
time-
funny because you took Brian out of the stream, and I probably should be out of the stream because it's still.
yeah,
got
we
this
took
much-
Brian out for no reason, and you're shoving Mexican.
What was the
food.
show you talking about? This show last night?
Yeah, but first of all, so that's Juwan DeVivo who's eating a taco, and also Brian April is with us with a brand new with a brand new setup, and let's bring him out right now.
Before we brought him in.
Brand new setup, same old hand gesture.
That's right.
So in the background there, people are wondering, Brian, is that a shelf full of Rubik's cubes?
Why, as a matter of fact, it is. It is. There are. I didn't count, but there's probably at least 15.
Why wouldn't you count them?
I don't know. I just.
What's the most expensive Rubik's cube?
That I own is I think it's the 7x7 or 8x8.
Platinum Rubik's cube.
That's-
Mined from.
Yeah.
Some of those are not cubes either.
No, we get other puzzles. Hold on, I'll grab it.
Rubik's
gonna get the most
geometric
expensive one.
shapes. What would you? What's the?
I didn't even
All
think about
encompassing.
different Rubik's cubes being more valuable than others.
All right, this is a.
Chance thought it was essential oils.
They are oily.
This
That
is
would
not,
be really embarrassing. A whole shelf full of essential oils.
That's right. It's essential oils, and then I have
Some-
patchouli and some other incense over there as well. No, I'm kidding. No. So this is my 7x7. I think I have a. I think I have an 8x8 somewhere, and it's a speed cube, which makes it a little bit.
So wait a second. You have an 8x8, but it's not on the shelf with all of your other Rubik's cubes?
Well, I didn't want to go over and count. It's somewhere over there.
It's the elite. It's the elite cube.
Oh, there it is. It's in the second one. It's the green, right where my finger is. The green
Yeah, I
and
see.
that one. That's
I see
an
it.
8x8.
I see it. So, and you can solve those too?
Yes. It just takes a little longer.
Eh.
A lot longer.
Okay. So this is Brian's new digs. And he's got some sort of multicolored tapestry or something over there on the other side, on the left side, in front of your stuffed hedgehog.
Those are my Taekwondo belts. So all the way from white belt to black belt. And
Really?
this is my certificate of black belt. I have my second degree one, which I have to do as well. So you see the big number 1 right there. That's when I got my first degree black belt. And I have the second certificate, which I still need to frame because I've been lazy and not doing that.
Are
It's
you?
funny that the King sisters knew what it was. I had to ask what it was. I thought it was beach towels, and they're like, "Look at all of your martial arts belts." They knew exactly what it was.
Yep.
beach towel?
I'm the only dummy.
Are you biased in your martial art? Like you just like Taekwondo? You're saying superior to Krav Maga or
No, Krav Maga. Krav Maga is vicious. Krav Maga is vicious. That is like, that ends things. Krav Maga is very vicious. I just like it. It was what I liked. It was a nice mixture because Taekwondo is a mixture of. It's more kicks than it is punches, so it's a little bit more varied that way. Where like judo, which I've taken, is more throws, and Hapkido is joint manipulation and that sort of stuff. I also do Eskrima, which is a Filipino stick fighting. So there's all sorts of.
Where's your
all sorts of things.
sticks?
They're still at my other place, so they haven't made the trip over yet.
Yeah.
That's right. Bottom
Krav
line.
Maga-
just like hit you with his Rubik's cubes.
Krav Maga is what you use when you when you really want to fight somebody, but you don't want to fight them very long, right?
Yes.
You like take them out. And
Yeah.
martial arts, like what you do, is when you want to have like a 10-minute movie scene sort of
Right.
fight. And
It's
you
like
wanna,
what my cats did to the mouse at our house in Fort Wayne when they just
Right.
kind of patted it. They had been declawed, and so they somehow got a hold of a mouse, but they couldn't actually rip it apart. They just kind of popped it for hours until it died.
I wonder if that confuses the cats. They're like, look, this is supposed to work. Why is it?
They're just they beat it with their pads.
And the mouse is like trash talking him. He's like, oh, that feels good.
They start playing the drum solo to Wipeout.
Wipeout. Golly, we have a giant show tonight.
We do, but I wasn't
I
sure
know.
what we were going to start with. So
I know. That's why I said we have a giant show tonight, hoping that would cue you to do the
how
one
large-
thing.
How giant?
The
There's
one
only
thing.
one job.
wait a minute, we're almost there. We're so
Mhm.
close now. It's going to be any second now. You won't
Well, it
believe
was.
it.
Well, I was gonna do an
Okay.
intro. It's everybody's freezing. I don't know who's freezing. If it's me or if it's everybody
Oh,
else.
I'm sure I'm freezing a little bit.
All right. If
I think it's partially me. My Wi-Fi.
if it's typical, typical show is represented by this perhaps frozen woolly mammoth, then tonight's show looks a little something like this.
Hey, there's a car in your future.
That's right.
What the heck is that? Oh, that's right. I forgot the whole theme.
John
Bubble
DeVivo,
call.
ladies and gentlemen. He's been in on the planning since the beginning of the week. And
Yeah.
it's just now occurring to
A
him
lot's
what we're
happened,
doing.
you guys.
Yeah. Just now occurring to him what we're doing tonight. JT is not with us. He is doing something else.
I don't know either.
He told us.
I don't know if he actually said. I think he just
has
goes,
a
hey,
show.
He has a
hey,
show
He has a show. Yeah.
in Kentucky, I think. Or
Yeah, somewhere in the Midwest, southern
Yeah.
Midwest.
So he won't be with us tonight. But of course, he didn't want to leave us without a way to shout out to our clickers because they are
We're going to do that,
very,
too, aren't we? Okay.
very, very important to us. And
So I
so
have to do another thing.
our clickers are so important to us that we're going to
It's
wait
fine.
while our
It's
producer
fine.
brings up the video. But
We have lots
it
to say
is
about
true. I mean, we're kidding, and we sound insincere, but we're completely sincere. The clickers are the lifeblood, the bread and butter, the essential oils, the rack of Rubik's cubes, wind in our sails. All right,
And
here we go.
There's a lot of suggested videos there too for you to watch.
All right, tell me if you can't hear this.
It's very quiet.
Click.
I don't know why. Let's pause and see if we can get it to go louder. Back up. Right.
Yeah.
Do you hear it?
yes.
Yes.
Clickers are great. They're super amazingly great. Athletic and fun and super smart. Their beautiful faces a work of art. Clickers are great. They're stunning and brilliantly great. Without them we'd be destitute and drifting into the abyss. Lovely clickers, we blow you a kiss. Some people pass the test and then some people use a spicker. But cheaters never win, and so let's holler at a clicker.
Amen. This week, in no particular order, our clickers are Beth Brubaker,
Beth Brubaker.
Brubaker, and
I'm stuck.
Peter.
Wow. That was incredible how the timing was perfect.
Yeah, that flourish.
Wow.
The clickers deserve an even bigger flourish than that. But that we want to thank you guys for your support, for making the show possible, for helping us to do all the fancy stuff that we do. All of this fancy stuff that we do, it's because of the clickers. That table full of Taekwondo belts, all because of clickers.
Yep, absolutely.
All of those Rubik's cubes, clickers. If you'd like to
Couldn't
become
do
a
without
clicker,
you.
you can go to my website, johnbranion.com. There's no our producer is like her first day on the job. This is season 3, and she acts like we've never done this show before.
This is what happens when you take a week off.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I was getting the next thing ready. It's funny. I was laughing to myself because JT also uploaded his original song for today on YouTube. And so that was automatically about to play. So I had to pause that.
Oh,
we're going to get to that in a minute. But what's funny to me is that it already has 83 views.
Wow.
Yeah.
I probably watched it like 30 times.
Yeah. And Tabby watched it a bunch too. So we're really excited about his song today.
I've only heard it a couple of times because I was in Minneapolis. And but it's cool. It's a cool song.
Yeah.
The only problem is mine. We were doing the Clicker song. It was coming through my headphones like at least 2 or 3 times. I
heard a little bit of an echo. I heard it come through twice.
I wonder if it's because I'm not wearing headphones. So let me get my headphones before I play the next one. Keep going.
It's my gosh. It's like she's just learning about technology for the first time.
What? Headphones?
What? Internet? What? What is this internet you talk about? What's a stream? Look, she went away to get her headphones and she left all of the stuff up on the screen. All the
just leaving the mess everywhere.
I know. We're gonna have.
Now there is no after party tonight, right?
There's no after party, and I'll tell you why, Brian. I drove home from Minneapolis today. It's a 10-hour drive. Which I was able to do in 10 and a half. So even if we had an after party, it would not be any fun for anybody because I'm just going to get crankier and crankier as the night goes on. And I expect that by the end of this show, I'm going to be snapping at all of you. I mean, listen to the way I've talked to my daughter already tonight.
He's a jerk.
I have not been pleasant. We're only 15 minutes into the show, and I'm already insufferable.
All right. So we'll see if this makes it louder and less echoey when we do the show that apparently has already got more views than this, or before we do the video, the song that already has more views than this show has.
Right. Now, we can't do the video. It's a huge show. It's huge. 50 of them are Tabitha's. So Tabitha and Brian account for all of those things. And
it's really good.
Yeah, Kevin likes it too.
How dare you?
I need a Snickers. I'm going to turn into Betty White. All right. We need to set up this entire theme, apparently for Juwan, as well as everybody else. And Stefan is the clicker of the week. Sorry about that, but it'll be on YouTube, so you can record it, take screenshots,
frame it, put it on the wall,
put it right up on the wall. Now I'm hearing somebody's got like a cement mixer in there. Who is it?
Is that me?
Juwan? Yeah. Okay.
Everybody has been sworn to silence in this room.
Okay. Well, here is a video that I'm going to show that will bring everybody up to speed on tonight's theme. So as you're watching the show, you're like, why in the world are we doing this? This is why we're doing it. So
you're going to show it or I'm going to show it. I don't want you to yell at me if I don't push the button.
I'll go ahead and show it.
Okay.
All right. And here we go.
Good morning, everybody. This idea isn't fully formed yet, but I dreamed last night that I was watching a TV show and you all were in it. And the show was a reality show called Dire Moments in Your Car. And I just saw this opening sequence in the dream, and it was bouncing around between us, and we were all experiencing dire moments in the car. It was almost as if we had a hidden camera in the car that was filming us all the time, and we were just pulling excerpts from it for the show. And in one of them, Brian was sitting at a stoplight and he flinched, and his windshield shattered, and he flinched, and then the camera panned to the left, and there was an arrow sticking out of his shoulder, and he said, "Ow, somebody, what, is that Robin Hood? I didn't know he lived in this neighborhood." Okay, these ideas are really lame right now, but I feel like they could be developed. And then in one scene, Juwan was hauling some hay in the back of his car, and it caught on fire. He was driving down the road screaming, Spontaneous combustion. I don't know how this caught on fire. Now that I'm recording it this morning, it's not as funny or clever as it was when I was watching it in my dream. Just thought, we could all have dire moments in the car.
The burning hay. I have to say this. JT's usually listening to something when he sends us a polo. But was he listening to like whale noises or something? Because that actually added a level of spookiness to me. It was dark, and he's like, Brian was getting shot with an arrow. Your truck is on fire.
I'm pretty sure we talked about this at the after party once, about comedians that wake up in the middle of the night with ideas that are killer, and you write them down, and then you go back and read them again the next morning in the broad daylight, and you're like, why in the
or in JT's case, you record like a 3-minute video, and the longer you hear yourself talking, the more you start to realize you're not sure where it's going.
I have to say that I was laughing pretty hard when he sent that polo, and it's like, these ideas are not fleshed out yet. And then he kept going. He goes, this isn't really working very well. And then he kept going. It really doesn't sound as funny or as clever as it did, but he goes, but let's go.
Brian flinched, and he was like, was that Robin Hood? I didn't know he lived in this neighborhood.
He's like, ow. I just got
shot with an arrow.
While I was sitting in my car.
Was that Robin Hood?
That really smart.
Like, is there some history between you and Robin Hood, Brian? Or like, do you usually drive around that neighborhood?
Yep.
Ow.
So bizarre.
I was not expecting that.
Oh.
Yeah.
This has been a very dire moment that I didn't know was going to happen until I went into Robin Hood's neighborhood.
Ow. So we, in typical fashion, seized upon something that is potentially humiliating for one of our own.
Like, this isn't working at all. Let's do it on Sunday.
That's right. This is probably the worst idea. I'm sorry I brought it up. Perfect. It'll be our theme Sunday. I wish I'd never mentioned it. Excellent. So that is the context, and JT wrote a song because we suggested it's like, okay, you should write a song about dire events in the car. And so with that background, here's this week's song of the week.
Here it is. Hopefully.
Here it is. Hopefully
not echoing this time.
Hopefully our producer will be able to play it and everybody will enjoy it.
All right. You ready?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'll wait.
No,
okay.
I'm ready now.
Okay.
This is so good.
Bad things are waiting to happen. No one escapes. Take every desperate measure. Don't open the drapes. Someone's watching, someone's waiting. Something ill is in the wind. Maybe we all had it coming. All is vain and all have sinned. Leave the light on. Don't take the shortcut. Shelter home until the hurricane relents. Winter's coming. Summer's ending. Life is only desperate days and dire events. Take only what you can carry. Watch the worm turn. Check sight lines, fasten the latches. Let the fuse burn, sound the bell and send a signal. Pull the lever, close the hatch. Only darkness in the tunnel if you never strike the match. Leave the light on, send out the warning. Any cry for help is drowned in loud laments. Spring is over, autumn's dying. Life is only desperate days and dire events. Life is only desperate days and dire events.
So good. So good.
Oh, wow. This is the first time you tuned in to SCQS. You might be thinking, wow, this is a really good show.
But we'll change your mind by the end. No, wait.
I got to admit that that song was that song sort of justifies this entire stupid theme. You know?
Yeah.
It does. So it's a little sad for a comedy show, right? It's a little melancholy.
Yep.
But it's got a James Bond theme song kind of vibe to it.
I was thinking Phantom of the Opera.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you're wrong. It's James Bond.
Okay.
I'm with you, Amanda. I also thought Phantom of the Opera.
No, James Bond it is.
I listened to it like 30 times. I would say Phantom of the Opera.
I'm glad I'm still in charge. Yeah, it was. I only listened to it twice, and I could not get it out of my head. That chorus just kept playing over and over and over. So, I don't know if we mentioned that we are working on actually doing like an album, for lack of a better term. We've talked about that and how to pull that off and take some of the songs that are the favorites on SCQS and creating an actual music project. So we're working on it. It's a thing that we're going to do. And we haven't figured out exactly how it's going to look and what we're going to do, but we're thinking about like sharing some of the vocals. And you're wrong, Deborah. And I think it might be fun to have like SCQSers, like some of the Cliquers do something in the music too. Like we could have, I don't know what, but wouldn't it be fun?
We're going to have someone do something.
We have someone do something.
First, we're going to have
choir.
somebody do a thing, and then somebody
Yep.
else will come and do another thing slightly different. And then
Well, what if we
we'll
have
do things together at the
and
end.
then we'll
It's
all do
not
it together
It's
at the
just
end.
an idea. It's the it hasn't been fully worked out yet. We're still,
Right.
we're still working on it.
That's an inside.
We were
joke.
dreaming about it. And
Right. I had a dream about it. It's going to go
Yeah.
great.
Mhm. Ow. Stocks and bonds. Oh, we could have Cliquers play musical instruments.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
you
something
play a
maybe for an after party.
kazoo choir.
Yeah, who was it that was objecting to a kazoo choir? Was it?
Objecting?
Yeah,
Objects to a kazoo choir.
I thought somebody in our Telegram group was like, "No, we're not
I-
having kazoos because that is beneath us." They apparently. I thought it was somebody in our group, the Telegram group,
I
or
hate
in the
babies
Polo group.
and puppies and kazoo choirs.
Yeah, like
And
we had.
sunshine.
Like, I wasn't even aware that we had any standards on this show, but apparently kazoos are over the line.
Yeah, it might have been JT since he's not here, and we've talked about it.
Yeah, it
Nobody
could have
said
been.
anything yet.
might have been me.
Might have been me.
Might have been.
Brian.
I'm not sure.
Could have
Did
been
something
Rubik's
happen
boy.
between then and now that lightened your opinion on kazoos?
Well,
How do you
my
feel about
family was
kazoos?
killed by kazoos. And
My family. But then a kazoo helped me out of a pit once.
That's true.
Couple
You know,
weeks ago.
it was one of those things.
Maybe they're not all bad.
Air kazoo. All right. So, in keeping with the theme, I have assembled and it's not ready to go yet. I have assembled.
I didn't know there was more.
Yeah, there's a quiz. There's a quiz for crying
Yay,
out loud.
trivia.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
you've
a
assembled a
quiz
thing. Tell
that
us
I've
about
assembled
it.
for you guys and for our viewers, because I think that it is our responsibility to help you survive dire moments in the car. Okay, so I've got a few questions, and we're going to see if you can answer them correctly. The best way to survive an accident is now. I got all of this information from several different websites, so all of these answers are actually answers that I have.
I know.
gleaned.
But you fact checked them though, and because
No.
I've actually
No.
tested this one. My answer for this question.
The best way to survive an accident.
Yeah, because I saw the back end of a semi truck coming, back end of a semi trailer when I was about to be slammed into it, and my thought was, "Go loose. Don't tense up. You're not supposed to
just
get
let
tense.
go of everything.
Just release
Don't
your bladder, everything. Release. I didn't do that, but
let your hands fall off the wheel. Put your feet under the pedals.
I wasn't driving, so I could actually just.
Is
Yeah,
it possible to do that?
See, my sister says it too. Yes, I can tell you that I literally
You're about to hit a car and you just
and I
go
relaxed.
You
Yeah,
just
I
go.
was like,
No point in
I had
staring now.
enough time to go like, oh, we're gonna hit. I have read that people who are drunk often survive their accidents because they're just so loose. So loose.
So
That's
if you're about to hit a car, you should do a shot.
No, you should just relax as if you
No.
had already done it.
That was on The Simpsons. He was the bus driver. Otto was driving the bus. He goes, "Everybody, just go limp." About to fall off the ravine or something. So again, The Simpsons know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that what it is?
I think that's it.
Become Gumby.
I think my personal opinion is that stepping on the brakes at some point
Not necessarily.
is a good idea.
Not necessarily.
What's the consensus? I can't see the comments.
Because again, if you're stopped and somebody else is coming at you, you actually want to take your foot off the brake because again, that absorbs the impact. And if your brakes are on, it gives you less amount of time there's less to absorb.
You have to tense your leg too to push the brake pedal. So
That's true.
So your that one leg pushing the brake would be destroyed.
Yep.
In the accident, while the rest of you went limp
So,
around
oh
it.
no, we're gonna get in a
Yeah.
crash. So you put on some chill music.
Don't apply the brakes.
Nothing
Don't just
meditative.
temp up.
I
Yep.
say, sing Gloria Gaynor's "I Will Survive"
Singing bowls. You did the singing bowls.
as you go right into it. You know,
Met bowl.
Most of the time when
Oh,
someone's
yeah.
drinking and driving, they don't get hurt as much as the person they hit. Yep. There you
Yep.
go.
And here's Stefan. Take it easy.
Traveling down the road about to crash to the
Yes. So what happened in my case was my face went into the seat in front of me and definitely got some damage up in this region, but I didn't have like whiplash or anything.
Yeah.
So,
You were fine. All right. Well, the answer, I didn't see the answer here. Take a short nap.
That's good.
If you go ahead and click the button, it should show you. Not to
okay.
get into an accident.
I was going to
That
say
was
that.
Somebody
literally
actually did
what
say
it
that.
said.
Yeah.
Did they?
Somebody said to
Points
not
for
be in the
you.
car.
To not be in a
Ah.
car. That's close.
Don't
Yeah.
drive, walk instead. That's close too.
Yeah, that's close. We'll give you guys points for that. So yeah, this was.
Oh,
this
there
was
you go, Jeff Lane.
Not to get in one.
Not
Yep.
get
The best way to survive an accident is
And
not to
Suzanne
get in one.
March, too.
And that is actually something that
Oh,
I
the
saw on
actual
the website.
answer. That's right. You
Yeah,
said you
yeah.
got these off the. Wait, what's the
Mhm.
name of the websites? You got your source.
Well, you can't say it now because they'll go ahead and look and
It's
ruin the quiz.
yeah. I'll tell you later.
Dumbanswers.com. Is that the
Brian is so suspicious.
I am.
dumb answers?
36% of accidents occur while turning. So remember this mnemonic, BLT. What do those letters stand for?
while turning.
Mhm.
Brake, light it up, and turn.
No.
Light it up is one word.
Be light today.
Better leave off turning.
Oh,
Leave off is one word.
Better let go of. That's all one word.
Well, I have a serious answer, which I think
bright
it's-
lights turned.
I would say blinker, look, turn. Because that would be that. But I think really it should be
That's close.
belt the car in front of you.
You're close.
Bye.
Chubby Bruce is close.
Bye,
Bright
losers.
lights.
I
Tomorrow.
love all the people saying bacon, lettuce, and tomato, like just ignoring everything,
Huh.
ignoring the context. Bacon, lettuce, and tomato.
Why aren't you going? I'm still
Billy.
on the lettuce. I'm still on the
Billy.
lettuce.
left. Suzanne is close too.
Blinkers look.
Close. That's not the actual.
That's 2 of 3. So if
Blinkers.
all 3 of the words have been said, just not
Okay, so
together. that
break-
I've seen.
Break, look, turn.
Yeah, hit that button. Hit that button.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do this to avoid hitting stuff that's hard to see, like
Don't worry about it.
motorcycles and pedestrians. And
Yep.
apparently, like a lot of newer model cars are, they're structured in such a way that there's a lot of blind spots, and so people hit stuff when they turn because they don't see it until they go around the corner. So if you brake, look, turn, you'll avoid that dire moment in the car.
So don't worry about blinkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Don't
you
worry
might
about
actually hit one of those people who didn't want to get in an accident and were walking.
Mm-hmm. All right, next one. That was pretty good. You guys did pretty good.
Okay.
The proper way to stop a vehicle equipped with anti-lock braking system is to
Push it in
Step
the
on the
floor.
brakes.
It's got the system. The system is in there. Push
What'd
it
you say,
down to
Brian?
the road.
Step on the brakes.
Use the brake pedal. By the way, my son, my 4-year-old, who's a big car guy, is always asking me, just for his own information, which one is the gas and which one is the brake, all the time, as
No,
if
no.
like tomorrow he's going to take his driving test.
yeah.
He's
Well,
planning on it. That's
we-
what's in his head.
I thought it would be a good time. Do not release the brake. Hit the brakes.
Oh, pump is not
Oh,
right.
back-
Pump
No,
the brakes is not
Yeah,
correct.
back in the day, you used to
No.
have to pump the brakes.
do not
Nope.
pump them.
Yeah.
No, wrong. Not
the
even if
brakes.
skidding, you don't pump them. They automatically pump themselves. That's what anti-lock means.
There is an old school, like older drivers hate anti-lock braking systems.
Mhm.
And the reason they hate them is because they learned how to drive without them. And so
Right.
if you don't have anti-lock brakes, then you work the brakes differently than if you have an ABS system.
Right. They automatically, they like,
Flintstones.
they don't lock. They go like this.
Right.
That's what they do.
They're
Hey,
That's-
anti-lock.
This is my impression of an ABS system. See, that should
So-
clear it all up.
So yeah, the nerd dad has it, and I've seen some other people say it too.
I was-
This is if you're driving a manual.
And apply
Thank you,
pressure to the
Stefan.
brake. Yeah. Shift into neutral.
Yeah.
A couple of people have said it.
All right. Well,
Somebody said hit a wall. That's not completely. Stomp on the brake really hard and don't let up until you're stopped. That's what you do. And that is counterintuitive to people who learned how to brake without braking or ABS systems.
Jeff prefers his brakes to lock. Thank you very much.
yeah.
Well,
Go on.
I don't know. My tendency is to pump the brakes because that's what I was taught. If you slam on brakes and you don't have an ABS system in the car, then you can't steer, and there's all kinds of stuff that's bad that happens, particularly on ice and slick surfaces. So they teach you just pump the brakes, so that way you're slowing the car down, but then you can steer. But ABS changes all of that.
Mhm.
ABS, you just mash that thing to the floor
Yeah.
and leave it there.
Dang technological convenience.
But now
We
if
should have
you're on ice, you just downshift. You just downshift.
Yeah.
So you downshift to a lower gear, and it'll slow you down without having to
accelerate.
step on the brakes.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I think ABS is designed to work with. I mean, it's computer controlled, and so it can sense when you're on ice, and it adjusts. So even on ice, you're just supposed to mash that
yeah.
bad boy to the ground.
I like my ABS on ice. Shaking, all good.
I don't always mash the brake pedal, but when I do, about a quarter of fatal crashes are single vehicle accidents. 70% of those happen when drivers run two wheels off the pavement, panic, and overcorrect. The proper way to get wheels back on the road is
anti-lock brakes.
Mash the brakes down to
Slam the brakes.
No,
Do
you
not
actually
pump.
can. You
Just
can do that.
Don't overcorrect. Regular correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just,
regular
just
correct.
correct.
Middle
Just
correct.
In Georgia, you just go ahead and run it on off the road, and you go around the tractor, and then you get back on the road.
Over the mailboxes. Yep.
That's not like oversteering, like steering into a skid or something, right? Like when you start to skid, you turn the wheel towards the skid.
Well, yeah, that's not what you do when you got two wheels off.
You turn
You
into
put the
the
back wheel up.
turn into the wheels. Yeah, when your right wheels fall off the
One
road,
of the
turn
King
in.
sisters has it. Park, vacate vehicle, walk home.
There you go.
That's
it.
that will work. Just leave two wheels on and off. Eat a BLT.
Eat a BLT.
Yeah.
Correct
The correct
the correct amount.
Correct the correct amount.
Correct precisely.
Okay.
There
So
it
that's
is.
gotta be it.
Don't
right?
panic. Slow down. Ease back onto the road. Release the accelerator. Keep the wheel straight. Wait until the car slows and ease back onto the road. Because what happens is people jerk they go off and then they jerk the wheel and overcorrect, and then it grabs and they go off the other side. Sometimes they flip over. All kinds of bad things happen. You just keep the wheel straight. Let off the accelerator. Stay on the rumble strips. Drowsy drivers are responsible for 72,000 car crashes, 800 deaths every year. True or false?
True.
What?
72,000.
True.
Is that counting like pileups? Like if one guy causes a pileup? Because then I say yes. If you're counting pileups.
So if the drowsy driver is responsible for a multi-car accident.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a 50 car pileup. All right, there's 50 added to the total.
Yeah. Some of there's
they think it's more
all
but
over the place.
a lot of people are saying it's true.
Tricky.
Drunk and
801
drunk.
deaths every year. That's what they're saying.
The answer is going to be like, you only wish it was 72,000.
They're either saying true or higher than
It's
that.
not the same drowsy driver. It's different drowsy drivers.
There's a few of them.
It's a prejudice against drowsy drivers. Yeah. Not screaming wake up like the passengers in his car.
Yeah. So
hit it. True. Stop trying to drive while you're sleepy.
is this
You know who you are.
is this a personal
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 Yeah, I
note?
put that in there for myself, basically.
After 10-hour drive.
I'm bad about it. I really am.
And so is Luke, my husband. We used to make fun of him all the time because like I would be riding in the passenger seat like, hey, you're looking kind of tired. Like, do you want me to drive? And he'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm fine. And then he'd like turn down the radio because it was like bothering him. He'd like turn it down. And then he'd kind of like lean his
chair
a
back
little bit. And I was like, why are you getting comfortable? This seems like a bad idea.
Why are you making this moment more dire?
He's like, I just want to, I'm not sleepy. I'm just relaxing. It's like, this is not the time to relax while we're speeding at 75 miles an hour down the interstate.
Yeah, but if we get in a wreck, we're supposed to be relaxed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm preparing.
Just preparing myself.
You don't get more relaxed than when you're unconscious behind the wheel.
My thing is my body just shuts down. When I get tired, people are like, I don't know how you fall asleep while you're driving. It's too much for me. I'm like, no, it's like my brain just goes through turning off all the lights. You know how your dad used to do at the end of the night?
Yeah.
Just shutting everything down. I'm just like thinking about something else. And my eyes are closed, and I am in another world.
Yeah.
I don't ever pretend. If anybody's like, hey, do you want me to drive? I'm like, yeah. Yep.
There you go.
You think we should have pulled over first? No, come on, it's good.
I will kill us. Yep, we better
He
do that.
rolls out onto the road. Ah!
I'm awake now.
What should you do when a tire blows out while you're driving at highway speeds?
Well, you take your foot off the accelerator, grab with both hands, lock your elbows in, put your hazards on, and slowly make your way over to the
And
shoulder.
put your head out the window and yell, "Look out, everyone!"
It wasn't
I've got
me.
to blow out. That's actually incorrect.
Oh,
According to my data that I did not fact check or research.
So
you
here's
turn
another.
your radio down. You lean your seat back a little bit.
Yeah,
Wake-
here's
wake
another
up the driver.
story.
Put your feet up on the dashboard.
Shortly after Luke and I got married, we had a dire moment in our car. Sorry if there's supposed to be a segment time for this later, but
No,
we
it's
were
fine.
driving back to Kokomo from Fort Wayne, and we were on the highway, and all of a sudden, neither of us is totally sure what happened, except we think that he bumped the gear shift. And it's an automatic transmission. It's not like he was, shifting manually, but we think that he went from drive down to reverse.
Ooh.
he hit it, and suddenly, like, car makes huge, crazy loud noise, engine dies. Yeah, just this shredding sound.
Ooh.
And like immediately we start decelerating, and so he like had to just steer over to the side of the road, where we sat for like 10 hours, but that was because AAA told us they were coming and then forgot about us. But that's another part of the story.
It's
So yeah,
another dire moment.
I'm gonna say just go over to the side of the road.
You have
Like
to.
this.
Okay, so you have to steer counter to the tire that's blown out, and let off the accelerator. So if it's the front right tire, you have to steer to the left a little bit.
Mhm.
Back right
Oh.
tire.
There's a lot of people. Yeah, it does depend on which tire blows out, but
Steer into the skid.
yeah.
Because you'll skid.
No, Jeff, the transmission was not on the ground, but there was a lot of metal inside of it when they opened it up.
Gosh.
A lot of
Oh,
metal
that
shards in
hurts.
the fluid and stuff. Yeah.
Bits
it
and
was-
pieces of the. I haven't seen anybody say the thing that that this. Yeah, I haven't seen anybody say the thing that you're supposed to do because it's a little counterintuitive. I thought it was counterintuitive.
Yeah.
So you
Recapping what we know so far.
let's talk.
Go limp.
Go left.
Stay awake, Red Bull,
Yeah.
and you
From
won't
a-
care about the tire blowout.
Yeah, these tips aren't necessarily meant to be all applied at the same time. I mean,
Yes.
these tips sort of apply in different circumstances. So
Oh, here we go. The spiritual element. Thank you,
pray,
Suzanne.
yeah, you can do that during a blowout.
Okay, here we
but
go.
Here's the answer: you press the accelerator and ease over to the side of the road. Don't brake. That's counterintuitive, right? But here's what I learned.
You want to get all that rubber off of your tire, so you got to go faster so you can fling all that broken rubber off that wheel. Yeah, so when the guy gets there, it'll be easy.
It says pressing the accelerator for an instant will give you the time to collect your wits. And remember to drive straight down your lane and stay away from the brake pedal. Allow the cars to coast down to slow and then gently pull on the shoulder. The drag force of a completely flat tire is so potent that no matter how long you press the accelerator, you're not going to gain speed.
Oh.
You're not going to accelerate when your tire's flat.
Okay.
So you press the gas and it keeps you from, it helps you control the car.
Huh.
Hmm.
So when do you release? So when you're over in the emergency lane, you just keep a gassing.
You just keep,
Yeah.
you just keep spewing
Okay.
gravel.
Don't ever push the brake.
Never,
Ever.
ever. Yeah.
Under any circumstances.
But if you have a blowout, you push the accelerator. And then you go decide, what should you do if the throttle sticks and the car accelerates uncontrollably?
This happened to me once.
What'd
Did
you
it?
do?
Yeah.
Well, what worked for me was, and I don't know if this is the exact answer, but I actually stomped on the gas pedal to get the throttle plate to unstick. So I kind of went, bang, yeah, just kind of hit it. It was funny because it was Melody's old car, and she didn't want to drive it because the air conditioner wasn't working. So I'm sitting
I was
there.
the one with the real job.
Oh, she had the real job. So that's my answer. Step on the gas.
Yeah.
Really hard.
That's what I had a story like that too, and I had to I stomped on that thing like it owed me money. So I was like, give me.
Here's
That was
Apparently, it helps if you're feeling particularly stressed at the time.
Yeah.
If you have like a focus for your anger.
one of the things that it says on this website is if the car started accelerating when you push the brake, release that pedal. If the engine stops screaming, you were actually pushing the throttle. Now try pushing the pedal to its left.
Did I have brake in quotes?
That's what it says.
When you push on the brake.
Right.
Oh man.
All right, so go ahead and show them the answer. This will be shift into neutral, coast to a stop.
Oh.
Turn off the engine as a last resort, since that might lock up your steering wheel if you shut the engine off.
Yeah.
But when you put it in neutral, you have to then the accelerator stuck, and so it just makes that horrific noise, and you just it scares the daylights out of you.
Right. It'll sound like you're going faster.
Yeah.
Won't it? Like, wouldn't it sound like you're going
Yeah.
faster, but it's actually slowing down because it's going to have your engine just
Right.
revving.
Shift into neutral and pray for a tire blowout because you will
then
not
it will
accelerate.
work in your favor.
Mhm. Like if you aim for some broken glass, maybe. Yeah, Suzanne knew that one.
I think maybe that was the answer.
Passionless Dimension thinks your keys are his. Take them out of the ignition while you're driving. This actually happened to me. Strangely, Roger, that wasn't one of the tips that they gave me. I can't tell you what to do.
For that.
They don't teach you about real world stuff in these driving classes.
I would say put the dementia patient in the back seat. How much of your own car should be visible in a properly adjusted side mirrors?
All of it.
It was like
The whole mirror.
all car.
Yep. All car.
You should have a
I really
perfect
love
view.
my car. Oh, look at that. It's so nice.
You should be able to see yourself in the side mirrors,
That's right.
in the rear mirrors, everywhere you look.
What?
Yeah.
Was it a percentage or a?
It's not an actual.
Inches?
It's not a mathematical percentage. Yeah.
Almost
Chance
none.
says almost none. Jeff says none.
None?
Depends on how big your car is.
Oh,
It doesn't.
10.345%.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
That's
Repeating decimal.
Do you
That's-
mean the makeup mirror?
what we call the side mirror is the makeup mirror. Just the edges of the respective mirror.
1/4.
1/4 of your car.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah. You talk about the top quarter, the bottom quarter.
Wait a minute. How much of your own car
Those
Yes.
is
currency.
visible? Not how
Currency.
much of the mirror should be covered
Right.
by your car.
How
Let me
much
look
of
at the
your
question.
car should you see in a properly adjusted side mirror?
How much of your car?
Yeah.
Maybe the answer is none then, because I can't think of a smart. How would you measure something like that unless you're just telling people you shouldn't be able to see it?
Well,
at all?
why don't you just hit that button and
A
see what it says?
sliver.
Yeah, okay.
There
See?
you go. See, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think you're supposed to see like your door handles
right,
or
your
you need to
doors.
see the edge of your car. You don't actually have to see any of your car in the side mirrors.
You need to be. How would then you see if someone exits or enters?
Yeah, it's just
you can't see the doors.
you can't tell the difference between somebody getting out of the car and just some random person
Right.
showing up beside your car.
That's
Well,
right.
if somebody opens the door, you'll be able to see that in your mirror, even if you, right.
They crawl out
And
the
then in the
window.
rear view mirror, you can look in the rear view mirror and see in the back seat if they don't duck down.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. Good.
all right. 33% of all crashes are at least partially caused by tailgating. Following too closely is illegal in most states. True or false?
Well,
Illegal.
If it's against the law, they're not enforcing that. I don't know anybody's been pulled over for tailgating.
right. It's also against the law in most states to walk across the street in an unmarked place that's not marked for pedestrians, but people
Right.
do it.
That's called jaywalking.
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 Yep. I say true. Come on, it's got to be true. I'm turning it. True. Yep.
Quit following others too closely. 33% of all crashes. And that is because people are overly confident about
Their brakes.
their brakes, and also the people that are driving in front of them. They assume that the person in front of them is a competent driver, which they probably are not.
Oh no, I assume everyone's an idiot. That's what I do.
So do I.
That's the East Coast.
1 in 4 accidents occurs because the driver's doing this while behind the wheel.
Talking on my cell phone.
Eating.
Shifting into neutral.
That's what.
No.
So I'm checking. Hold on. I want to see if people.
Bumper buddies. That's coming from the guy who's probably asleep behind the wheel.
And also follows too closely. Tabby was in the car. Wasn't she in the car with us the other day for some reason? Now I can't remember why she would have been. But she was like, "Are you turning here?" Like, because we're coming up on our turn and he's still accelerating. He hates using his brakes for any reason.
It's a sign of weakness.
That's what drifting is for.
So we'll be coming up on, somebody who's stopped or turning or whatever, or going slow in, the slow lane. And he's just like,
I blame Mario Kart.
What about
your generation?
I blame Mario Kart for my tendency to drag a string of banana peels behind the car.
Everybody's saying texting.
A few people said eating, which is a good guess.
Yep.
Texting, yep. Put your phone in the trunk if you must.
Yep.
I don't know if I'd put it in the trunk.
On their phone.
That counts. We'll give it to Melinda. Yep.
Yeah, using your cell phone. Talking, texting. It's amazing how many people will stop and text at red lights. They're like, oh, the light's red. I've probably got 20 minutes to catch up on emails and stuff. And texting while eating cereal and putting on makeup. Is that the last one, or is there another?
No, there's one more at least.
More knowledge.
When should you avoid using cruise control?
In the school zone.
In the city. When driving on surface roads.
When you have places to stop.
In Atlanta on the interstate, there's no way you're going to actually get to engage it.
In the drive-through.
Yes.
Here, give it to me. Quick. Come on, don't make me break.
Dude, should you avoid this? Yeah, there's a couple people have already got it. If you've been paying attention to this quiz.
It's raining? Oh, when you're sleepy.
Yeah, when you're sleepy. See, people.
So what does this say about self-driving cars, though?
Mm-hmm. Well, self-driving cars are not cruise control. It's a
right.
Self-driving car has like a computer, has a machine that's monitoring 360 degrees around the car.
So go ahead and sleep. Okay.
Yeah.
I got it now.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Slippery road conditions too. Oops.
Right. But the cruise control is
when you shouldn't be driving in the first place.
Right.
That is true. If you shouldn't be driving at all, don't use your cruise.
When you're underage.
When you're crashing into a pond.
When you don't have a license. When you're in your car seat. All right. And that's it. Now you can avoid your dire moments.
Do we have any more dire moments to share?
We covered everything. I was going to share about the dire moment that I was sitting in the car. My mom had gone inside to get something, and I was sitting in the back seat of our Ford Fairmont, which was a standard transmission. It was a stick shift. And it's because it had been a driver's education vehicle. Most of them were automatic transmission cars, but I didn't even learn how to drive an automatic transmission. All of our cars were stick shifts when I was a kid. This was before I had my driver's license. I was probably 14 or 15 years old enough that you would think that a kid in Indiana would know how to drive a car at that age. But Mom went into the house to get something, and I jumped over the back seat and got behind the wheel, and she left the keys in, and I started it. And she had left it in gear. And so when I started it, it started to lurch forward, and I had no idea what to do. And so I didn't think to shut off the key. I just started pushing button. It was a stick shift, so there was a clutch and a gas pedal. There were three pedals down there, and I went to hit the brake and hit the clutch, which stopped it, but it had already jerked forward, so it wasn't like hitting the brake. The momentum was still carrying it forward. So I'm like, well, that didn't work. So I took my foot off of the clutch, and then it jerked forward again and drove right through our garage door. Just crushed the garage door. And so I'm sitting there, and then it died because it couldn't go, through the whole garage. And so I'm sitting in the car and watching my family come out one at a time. And so my mom is the first one out the door. It made a horrendous noise. My mom's the first one out the door, and I'm looking at her, and she goes, and she turns around and goes back in the house. My dad comes out a couple seconds later, and he goes, "Oh, for the love of," and he turns around and goes back in the house. My brother comes out and goes, "Bah!" and just laughed. He fell over in the front yard laughing. And those were the three reactions. My yes, it stalled out.
Television show. Oh,
it did, but not before it crushed the garage door.
Yeah. Totally smashed it in.
And nobody came to you, and
no,
okay,
they didn't care. He did a farm truck, drove it through the back of the shop. Yep, it's easy to do, Chance. No shame in that. There is no shame in taking out a building before you get your driver's license. It's not a thing that you need to be embarrassed about.
Rite of passage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just do some major structural damage to some sort of building.
Yeah. So I thought of another dire moment too that I had in Fort Wayne.
Okay.
I think that was Brian's phone.
I think it was too.
That was my phone. Yep. It's having a dire moment right now. Just
good thing it was on vibrate, so that nobody knew that it was ringing.
So when I was in Fort Wayne, I had been given a baby shower, and there were balloons
like
involved.
A little shower, like a little.
And I was driving these balloons, or maybe it might not have been my baby shower.
It's a baby shower. Look how cute! It's so small.
I might have been.
And here's the mama shower, the daddy shower,
and the baby shower.
This is what you have to do when you live my life. You just ignore the cackling and you keep going. You ignore it. Tell your story.
Tell your story.
Thing. This is how you survive. In case any of you ever get married to or somehow related to comedians, this is how you persevere.
If you're fortunate enough to marry into a family of hilarious people, this is
Goldilocks in the three showers.
Whatever you do not acknowledge. Do not try to contribute. You'll never come back to the story.
Do not
encourage.
encourage.
Live, laugh, love.
Just plow through. Just
I kind of do want to hear how this story ends.
Plow through like a person whose accelerator is stuck.
If I want you to finish the story, should I stop talking? Would that help? That
would help a little. So there were balloons, helium balloons in the back of my car. And when I pushed the gas to go, the helium balloons went boom right in front of all across my windshield. I could not see anything. And I'm going, ah! And I'm like trying to shove them back, but like air pressure is working all against me. And so then as I'm doing that, I realized that there's something wedged. I had moved the carpet of the car under the accelerator. So now my car is slowing down and all of these balloons are like tangled up around my head. But it turned out that slowing down was a good thing because that made it easier to throw the balloons behind me. Right. And then I had to like curl down and pull the rug out from under my accelerator so that I could go get this. I'm in the middle of the street, like stopped pretty much.
Balloons everywhere, bagging around.
All around. I was like, I'm going to die by balloon. This is going to be on the news.
It looked like a giant lottery machine.
Yeah.
Everything.
This is the most undignified way. That's what I thought. The most undignified way to go.
Show up in heaven with balloons. At least you'll be festive.
All those unrestrained balloons. Okay, well, I do have one other thing that I would like to do. It's a dire moment, but it's not in cars. There's one slide, Peach.
We're after time.
I know we're out of time, but this is
making up for the party.
This is important to me. Yeah, we're
I
not
don't
doing an
see it.
effort party, so it's
Oh,
right
is
there.
This is the effort meet and greet.
All right. So, and this is a weird news segment, and I want you guys to try to tell me what this is. It's a
Sparkler.
picture. It's
Sorry,
a dire moment, but not in a car. Can you tell me what this is?
It's
It's
frozen.
What?
It's frozen.
Okay, now it's
Yeah, now it's
Somebody's wedding ring got caught on a bottle rocket.
their wedding ring. Why would you say that?
That's,
So
that's the first thing I thought about getting caught on a bottle rocket.
it's
Just like lighting it. And it's
the top of a
Oh!
building. It's like at the top of a building with the piping or whatever, or like an air conditioning unit or something, and they are trying to fill balloons for a baby shower. And
Obviously.
Yeah. Well, this
Somebody-
is dire. It's dire.
Somebody flicked their cigarette straight up, and now they're waiting for it to come back down. But you don't know where that thing's gonna land.
Look how high they
And it
flicked
could
it.
just be like, in your hair or somebody's down your shirt or something. That's really scary.
maybe that's
Silly string being shot in the air. That's a decent guess, but that's not.
is that
it.
like a piece of like a jet, like the bathroom, like the particles falling out or something?
Nope.
Man, that was a good guess.
No,
Oh,
that was a decent guess.
Oh,
It's dire, but it's. I'll give you a hint. It's not airplane related. That's obviously it's in the sky, but it's not airplane related,
Space
It's not-
shuttle related.
and it's not Superman related. And the thing in the right hand corner is not really helpful because it's just a piece of it. You can't actually see the whole.
Oh, is this that guy that skydived from outer space?
No.
And then he had like a little spark on his trousers.
Did you guys put
and all
did you
that
put
wind
Jessica's
whipping
up there?
by?
The gender
Lit his
reveal
pants
party
on fire.
mishap? That's funny. That's
Oh.
not
That's the
right.
thing. Like
Man,
there were
those are
actual activists who, like liberal, progressive activists, who were mad about gender reveals and like making this big campaign against the gender reveal party for two reasons.
Right.
One, you guys keep setting off forest fires in Western United States because you're using fireworks and other things and
Right.
starting fires. But two, because how are you supposed to know what the gender is of your baby before they're like 10 and able to tell you?
Yeah, before they
themselves.
can tell
Right.
you.
Well, that's where you just release a gray balloon.
Right. It's a baby.
Hey, we're having a human.
That's a
Person.
baby, everybody.
Maybe a human. Maybe
Push
not.
a bunch of
Oh,
gray balloons in the car and drive around with them.
But anyway, I don't know what this picture
Nobody's right. Nobody's gotten it. Okay. So I will.
Are you sure?
I'll give you another hint. That smoke is actually coming from a bird.
is.
Oh, no.
Well,
So if you hit the button again, you hit the space bar to advance the slide, you'll see that
That's the bird.
it's a flaming bird. Now, do anybody want to guess what would set a bird on fire in the middle of the air?
Hit by lightning?
middle of the air.
No, I would kill it.
Lightning is a good guess.
Was
Not if it
it
just like grazed him. If it just
was
like
it the bottle rocket?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope. Federal wildlife investigators who visited the Bright Source Energy solar plant, which is in California, reported an average of one bird igniting in flight every 2 minutes.
whoa!
Workers
my
at the state-of-the-art
That
power
makes-
plant
yeah.
in the Mojave Desert have a name for birds that fly through the plant's concentrated sun rays.
Phoenix.
They're called streamers for the smoke plume that comes from the birds that ignite in midair.
The birds are probably like, they think it's awesome maybe for like 2 seconds. It's like the end of the feather, they can't really feel that, but as it gets closer, they're like, wait a second, this isn't awesome anymore.
It's a giant
Where's the
solar
lake?
Yeah.
farm, and they have hundreds of thousands of mirrors directed at this tower. And so all of the combined collected energy from the sun gets focused at these towers, and it gets up to like 1,000 degrees. And then they heat water, turn it into steam, and it turns a turbine, and that's how they produce electricity. But these hapless birds that fly in between the tower and the mirrors get vaporized. They burst into flame.
Any
So,
geese do that, or
probably
turkeys or chickens? There's like a farmer out there with chickens, like throwing them over the solar panels.
just heaving them up in the air, and they come down cooked.
I like the comment. I like the comment of solar is supposed to be better, but you have the coal miners with the canaries that go in; they just die too. So what are you gonna do?
I don't know if they were losing canaries to the tune of one canary every 2
That's true.
Every 2 minutes.
But those are, if you've never been by that, there's one right on the California-Nevada state border, and it's huge. I mean, so yeah, you can just.
I feel like that's something 11th grade guys would go watch. I feel like there'd be like a car parked out there, and a bunch of guys going, whoa.
Totally. And one of the things that I think is mildly amusing about this is, green energy is safe, but there's really no such thing as safe energy. It doesn't matter how you produce energy. Wildlife is going to die when you do it, whether you dig it up for coal or whether you like windmills. Bald eagles get killed by those windmills all the time. I mean, it's like the windmills are going to put them back on the endangered species list because those bald eagles just crash right into those.
They can't leave them alone.
They can't leave them alone. And now you got other birds that are just flying along, minding their own business, and they catch fire.
Microwaved, yeah.
Like a sop with camel. All right. I thought that it was important that everybody see that this week for some reason. So we're out of time, and that's our show. So while the Peaches explains, does the Snappy Wrap Up, I got to pull up this other thing.
Yeah. So as we mentioned earlier in the show, you can become a Click member by visiting JohnDranian.com. We don't have an effort party for you tonight, but usually right after the show, you get a super secret special link and you can join us and continue hanging out to plan next week's show. I guess we're just not going to plan next week's show. We're just going to hope it comes together.
It's kind of like we did this week.
You can see where Joanna is going to be by going to castingcrowns.com. Find out where they are touring next. If you liked John Thomas Oakes' songs today, visit his website, johnthomasoakes.com. You can also find him on YouTube. And apparently, if you follow him on YouTube, you might just see his songs for this week ahead of time.
Yeah, we didn't know about that. That's one of the perks.
He's got to make it unlisted.
John Thomas. Yeah.
Support Brian by going to patreon.com/comedybrian. And this week's Snappy Wrap Up. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, almost. Whoops. Except I'm sorry, you guys. I'm goofing it up.
And please don't forget this banner that's still from like 6 or 8 weeks ago. That comedy is all about the footwork.
Comedy is all about the footwork.
Make sure
remember
you
it,
keep
folks.
that in mind.
That's
You
right.
don't even need to take a comedy
Never
course.
forget.
Just remember that.
Style of clairvoyant crowd of town folk who's defusing a bomb.
What?
I like
This is our Snappy Wrap Up generator. It pulls randomly from a list of
That's
words, and sometimes
really
it comes up with
random.
stuff like this.
I like that. That's a good one.
I don't dislike it. Style of a clairvoyant crowd of town folk who's defusing a bomb. Okay.
I guess if we do that, that's all of us then.
Yep.
Yep,
I think-
that's going to be all of you. All right, let's take this down like this. And here are your credits. Go.
I hate the comedy click. Let's go torch them.
I'm sensing Donna Baumgartner will cut the blue cord.
I think maybe the combination is next week's lotto numbers, which are 67 and Suzanne Marsh.
I'm picking up the spirit of Mike McKinney and R.J. Osmond, and I don't like
April
it at all.
Vinton.
Oh,
Hand
does
me my
your
pitchfork.
cousin's name start with a James Ward?
I'm
If Olivia goes less than 55 miles an hour, this bus will blow up.